Bender, and I am from Coon Rapids, Minnesota, and I would love to be a To Write Love on Our Arms intern for the summer 2013. I believe that community has this strange way of making you grow in ways that you've never thought possible. Living in community demands that we confront the part of ourselves that we don't like to confront in everyday life. The parts of ourselves that are a lot less wonderful, the ways that we lack grace for others, the ways that we lack concern and compassion for others. And it almost requires us to confront those and in ways that we're able to embrace our intended identity. I believe that the only way to embrace our intended identity is through community. And I think at its best, community or true community brings about redemption. Ways that we set a goal to this is who we're going to be, and together we work at this. And it's this redeeming process of having grace with one another and having grace with ourselves. I believe that I would be a really good addition to the To Write Love on Our Arms staff because I'm passionate about being a good storyteller. I'm passionate about giving others the tools to be able to tell their own stories. I've also gone through this season of woundedness or brokenness myself, and having struggled with self-harm and an eating disorder. I believe that I can use that woundedness that has been healed in order to minister to others, to recognize this sense of solidarity, like I've been there and I've gone through that, but that there's this hope and that there's this redemption that's possible through the love of God. Henry Nouwens has this quote that says, "If we conceal our wounds out of fear and shame, our inner darkness can neither be illuminated nor become a light for others." I think the really cool thing is that we're called to do that for other people, that we're called to play a part in His role in redeeming other people's lives by telling our stories and by helping people tell theirs. I secretly, or not so secretly, have an obsession with coffee and Henry Nouwens. Still sleep with my baby blanket. I love Brussels sprouts. I have a tendency to sing in the shower. I love old people. In fact, my best friends are the elderly. I'm going to briefly tell you about a conversation that I had that changed my life or my way of looking at life, and it took place when I was actually spending a summer interning with an organization that works with orphaned and neglected children in both Romania and Moldova. And while I was in Romania, one of the children at this home was telling us about how his mom had passed away and his dad was an alcoholic, and so he was sent to live with his grandparents. And his grandma was kind of an abusive and crabby woman, but there was this offer from this organization that I worked with that said, "Hey, we'll take your kids, we'll place them in a home, we'll love them, and we'll take care of them." And the grandma was like, "Yeah, for sure." And he was saying how he was really nervous, how he didn't want to go, he didn't want to leave everything that he's ever known, his grandma and the connection to his dad, even though his dad wasn't present. And he said that his grandma was like, "Well, if you go with him, he'll give you a bike." And he thought about it, he's like, "Well, I really love to ride bikes." And he decided that he was gonna go with Joel. And this really cool thing is that even though he was offered such a seemingly small thing like a new bike, there's something much more that was given to him. In return, he got a family who loved him. He got a new life. He got a new home, a new father. And I feel that same thing. That's the same thing that the Lord is calling us to do. Is He's calling us to just come with Him, even if it's this offer of like, "Oh, you get a new bike," but this fear of change, this fear of not wanting to leave what we know, this fear of leaving, of knowing something better, keeps us in these places that aren't necessarily good for us. But He's always offering us a new way of doing life, something so much more. And in this story, it started off with a bike, but it ended with a transformation and a transformed life.